Have you ever wondered if you're spending your time on the right things as you grow older? After 70, time becomes one of our most valuable assets, far more precious than money or material possessions. Yet, so many of us unknowingly waste it on things that don't truly matter. Are you doing the same without realizing it? In this video, we'll uncover 12 things you're likely wasting time on after 70. And we'll show you how letting go of these habits can free up your energy, bring peace of mind, and transform the way you approach life. From the invisible weight of worrying about others' opinions to the subtle traps of overthinking the past, these time-draining habits could be holding you back more than you know. But here's the good news. The solutions are simple and life-changing. You'll learn practical steps to reclaim your time and focus on what truly matters, creating a life filled with joy, meaning, and freedom. Stay with us until the end, because the last point could shift your perspective forever. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I encourage you to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. Your support means a lot to us. If you find value in this video, please give it a thumbs up to help spread our message. I'm also eager to hear your thoughts on today's topic. If you enjoy the content, please comment 1 below. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave a 0 instead. Your feedback is crucial, as it helps me create better videos that align with your interests. 1. Worrying about what others think. Have you ever found yourself consumed by what others might think about you? I certainly have. For years, I spent an overwhelming amount of time worrying about whether people were judging how I dressed, what I said, or how I behaved. It's exhausting, isn't it? And yet, so many of us carry this unnecessary burden well into our later years. But let me share something liberating with you. The older you get, the more you realize that most of it simply doesn't matter. People are far too absorbed in their own lives to focus on yours as much as you imagine. Sure, they might gossip or make the occasional comment, but those fleeting thoughts are hardly worth your time. Why let someone else's opinion, which they probably won't even remember in a week, dictate how you live your life? If you often find yourself stressing over your appearance, it's time to let it go. Wear clothes that make you feel joyful, not ones that conform to outdated notions of what's appropriate for your age. Have you always wanted to try that bold red lipstick or wear a vibrant scarf? Go ahead, you've earned the right to do so. Thinking of picking up a new hobby that might seem unconventional or quirky? Do it. The truth is, no matter what you do, someone will always have something to say. But here's what truly matters: how you feel. Ask yourself, am I happy? Am I content? If the answer is yes, then that's all you need. Worrying about others' opinions is like lugging around a heavy suitcase filled with nothing but air. It weighs you down without serving any purpose. Imagine how much lighter and freer you'll feel when you finally let it go. Life after 70 is a time to start living for yourself, not for the expectations or judgments of others. When you shift your focus inward and prioritize your own happiness, you'll find a new sense of freedom. You'll realize that your time and energy are too precious to waste on the passing opinions of others. So, wear what you love, speak your truth, and pursue the things that bring you joy. After all, this is your life, and it's meant to be lived on your terms. 2. Keeping everything in the house perfectly tidy. Picture this. You wake up in the morning, and instead of savoring a quiet cup of tea or coffee as the sun rises, your mind immediately races to your endless to-do list. There's a pile of laundry waiting, the kitchen floor needs scrubbing, there's dust gathering on the shelves, and of course, the bathrooms can't be forgotten. It feels like a never-ending cycle, doesn't it? For years, I fell into the trap of believing that my home needed to look like a spotless museum exhibit. Everything had to be in its place, pristine and picture-perfect. But do you know what that brought me? Aching hands, a sore back, and far too many hours spent chasing an impossible standard of good. Here's the truth. At this stage in life, your time and energy are far more precious than sparkling floors or gleaming windows. What does it really matter if there's a little dust on the bookshelf, or if the dishes sit in the sink for a few extra hours? None of these things truly impact the quality of your life or them. Instead of striving for a perfectly spotless home every day, Shift your focus toward cultivating a space that feels warm, comfortable, and welcoming. Embrace the idea of a lived-in home, one that reflects joy and life, rather than an endless chore list. Delegate tasks where you can. If your family lives nearby, ask for their help. If it's within your means, consider hiring a cleaner. And if neither of those options is available, tackle only the essentials and let the rest go. The reality is that what's far more valuable than a perfectly polished table is the time you spend doing things you truly love. Imagine sitting on the porch, chatting with a friend as the breeze brushes your face. Picture yourself reading a novel you've been meaning to start, or strolling through the park as the leaves crunch under your feet. Think about the joy of calling a loved one just to hear their voice, or indulging in a quiet moment of reflection. Those moments, those small yet significant slices of life, are what truly enrich your days and make them meaningful. Life is simply too short, especially after 70, to spend it chasing dust bunnies or meticulously folding every piece of laundry. Instead, save your energy for living, loving, and being fully present in the moments that matter most. A little imperfection in your home is a small price to pay for the joy of embracing life's simplest and most beautiful pleasures. 3. Holding on to grudges. Let me tell you something with absolute certainty. Grudges are like anchors. They weigh you down, hold you back, and prevent you from moving forward freely. Yet for years, I carried a heavy bag filled with them. Disappointments from friends who let me down, unresolved arguments with family members, and even resentment towards strangers who likely had no idea I was holding a grudge against them. But let me ask you this. Is it really worth it? Does holding on to anger or resentment truly make your life any better? Most of the time, the answer is no. When you replay those old hurts in your mind, you're not punishing the person who wronged you. You're punishing yourself. Forgiveness often gets misunderstood. You might think that forgiving someone means letting them off the hook, but that's not the case. Forgiveness isn't about excusing bad behavior or forgetting the hurt. It's about releasing the hold that pain has over you. It's a gift you give to yourself, a way to reclaim your peace and your freedom. That doesn't mean you have to rekindle friendships with everyone or welcome toxic people back into your life. Forgiveness doesn't require a reunion. It simply requires letting go of the pain so it no longer controls you. I started letting go of grudges by asking myself one simple yet profound question. Will this matter when I'm gone? The answer, almost every time, was no. And when I began to forgive, whether silently in my heart or through an actual conversation, it felt like lifting a 1,000-pound weight off my shoulders. Suddenly, I felt lighter, more at peace, and even healthier. Forgiveness is transformative. It frees you from the emotional chains that hold you down and gives you the clarity to focus on the present. When you let go of resentment, you make room for joy, love, and connection. You reclaim the energy that was once consumed by bitterness and redirect it toward things that truly matter. Imagine a life where the weight of old hurts no longer burdens you. Picture yourself smiling more, sleeping better, and waking up each day with a sense of calm. That's the power of forgiveness. It liberates you in ways you might never have thought possible. So take a moment to reflect. Is there a grudge you've been carrying for too long? Is it time to let it go? Remember, forgiveness isn't about them, it's about you. 4. Trying to please everyone. Many of us, especially as women, are raised to be caretakers, peacekeepers, and pleasers. From a young age, we're taught to put everyone else's happiness above our own, our children, partners, friends, and even acquaintances. While kindness and consideration are admirable traits, there comes a point when trying to please everyone. Think about it. How often do you say yes to things you don't want to do, simply because you don't want to disappoint someone? How often do you agree to plans or commitments, even when they leave you feeling drained or unfulfilled? For years, I believed that saying no was selfish. But I've since learned that it's not selfish at all. It's an essential act of self-preservation. You see, constantly trying to please others can leave you with little energy to care for yourself. Saying no is not about rejecting others. It's about valuing your own time, energy, and well-being. Think of it as setting healthy boundaries, something we all need to thrive. When I started practicing this, it was uncomfortable at first. People weren't used to hearing me decline their requests, and I wasn't used to putting myself first. But over time, I realized that the people who truly cared about me respected my honesty. And those who didn't, their approval wasn't worth sacrificing my peace. Saying no doesn't have to be harsh or confrontational. A polite but firm response, "I'd love to help, but I can't right now," is often enough. The key is to remember that your time is finite, and not every request deserves a piece of it. By protecting your time, you make room for the things that genuinely bring you joy, whether that's reading a book, spending time with loved ones, or simply relaxing without obligations hanging over your head. So, ask yourself, are there commitments or relationships in your life that feel more draining than rewarding? It's okay to prioritize yourself. You don't owe everyone an explanation for protecting your energy. Now let's take this idea further. If saying no allows you to conserve your resources, how do you redirect them toward things that truly matter? How do you distinguish between what adds value to your life and what simply adds to your list of tasks? These are the questions we'll explore in the next section as we shift our focus to the clutter, both physical and mental, that can weigh us down. 5. Buying things you don't need. Do you ever find yourself surrounded by things you no longer use or even remember buying? Over the years, many of us accumulate items, clothes we rarely wear, gadgets we don't use, or decorations collecting dust on a shelf. For a long time, I believed that acquiring more would bring more happiness. But as the years passed, I realized that possessions often become burdens, not blessings. Think about it. Do you really need 5 mixing bowls when you only ever use one? Or a closet so packed with clothes that half of them haven't seen daylight in years? The truth is, much of the stuff we hold on to ends up cluttering not only our homes but also our minds. Managing these possessions takes time, energy, and even money, resources that could be better spent elsewhere. Decluttering can be a liberating process. It's not just about making space in your home but also creating room in your life for what truly matters. Start small, maybe with a drawer or a single closet. As you go, ask yourself, does this item bring me joy? Do I use it regularly? Is it worth keeping? You might be surprised at how much lighter you feel when you let go of things that no longer serve a purpose. What's more, the money saved from buying less can be redirected toward experiences that enrich your life. Instead of spending on another knick-knack, consider investing in a day trip with friends, a class to learn something new, or a memorable meal at your favorite restaurant. These experiences create lasting memories, unlike possessions that fade into the background over time. Letting go of excess doesn't mean living with nothing. It means focusing on quality over quantity. A home with fewer things can still feel cozy and inviting. In fact, simplicity often brings clarity and peace, allowing you to appreciate what you truly value. From here, the natural question becomes, what other areas of life can benefit from a similar approach? Just as decluttering your home frees up space, decluttering your thoughts and emotions can free your mind. In the next section, we'll explore the importance of letting go of overthinking the past and how it can transform your perspective on the present and future. 6. Overthinking the past. The past has a way of creeping into our thoughts, doesn't it? A decision you regret, a moment you wish you could change, or an opportunity you feel you missed. For years, I found myself revisiting certain memories, as if replaying them in my mind could somehow alter what had already happened. But here's the thing. No amount of overthinking can rewrite the past. Think of the past like an old photo album. You can flip through its pages and reflect on the moments it holds, but you can't step back into those pictures. They're snapshots of a time that has come and gone. Dwelling on these moments only robs you of the present, the one and only time you actually have any control over. Rather than obsessing over what you can't change, try shifting your focus to what you've learned. The mistakes you dwell on have shaped who you are today, teaching you resilience, patience, and wisdom. Those missed opportunities, they've likely guided you to something different and, perhaps, even better. Every experience, whether good or bad, is a chapter in your unique story. When I feel myself spiraling into what-ifs, I remind myself that the past is over, but my story isn't finished. There are still chapters to write, memories to create, and lessons to share. The most meaningful way to honor the past is to live fully in the present. This doesn't mean forgetting the past entirely. It means accepting it for what it is, a foundation for the life you're building today. Letting go of regret is an act of self-compassion. It allows you to reclaim the mental energy that overthinking steals and redirect it toward making the most of the life you have now. Imagine the freedom of waking up without the weight of what could have been hanging over you. Picture yourself embracing today with clarity and purpose, unburdened by yesterday's shadows. That's the power of letting go. As we move forward, let's take this concept of letting go a step further. If releasing regret helps clear your mind, what happens when you start expressing your needs and advocating for yourself? In the next section, we'll explore the transformative impact of speaking up for what matters to you, especially in this stage of life. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. 7. Staying quiet about your needs. For much of my life, I avoided expressing my true needs. Maybe it was out of politeness or a fear of being perceived as selfish or demanding. I'd tell myself, it's not a big deal, or I don't want to trouble anyone. But over time, those unspoken needs piled up, leaving me frustrated, lonely, and at times even resentful. As we age, the reality becomes clear. Life is too short to remain silent about what truly matters to us. People can't read your mind. If you need help, support, or even just a moment to yourself, you must be willing to voice it. Holding back doesn't just rob you of the chance to feel heard and supported, it can also create unnecessary tension in your relationships. Speaking up for yourself doesn't mean being demanding or inconsiderate. It's about advocating for your well-being with respect and kindness. Whether it's asking for more help around the house, expressing a desire for quality time with family, or even requesting a simple redo of an incorrect order at a restaurant, your needs are valid, and they matter. I used to worry that being honest about my needs would drive people away, but to my surprise, I found the opposite to be true. When you communicate openly and respectfully, people are often more than willing to meet you halfway. Honesty fosters connection, and asserting your needs can strengthen your relationships rather than weaken them. Imagine going to a doctor's appointment and not voicing a concern about your health, only to leave feeling worried and unheard. Now, picture the empowerment of clearly expressing your concerns, getting answers, and walking away with peace of mind. That same principle applies to every area of life. When you speak up, you take control of your happiness, comfort, and well-being. The act of voicing your needs also sets a powerful example for those around you. It shows that prioritizing yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. It encourages others to respect your boundaries and, in turn, to reflect on their own. As you consider the importance of advocating for yourself, think about this. Are there areas in your life where your silence is holding you back? What would change if you started expressing your needs with confidence? Next, let's explore how comparisons can be just as silencing as staying quiet about your needs. Comparing your life to others can be a thief of joy, but understanding how to shift that mindset can bring newfound contentment. 8. Comparing yourself to others. We've all done it, glanced at someone else's life, and wondered why ours doesn't measure up. Maybe it's the friend with the picture-perfect family, the neighbor who's constantly traveling, or the peer who seems to have defied aging altogether. These comparisons can creep in, leaving you feeling inadequate or even like you're falling behind. But here's the truth. Comparison is the thief of joy. What we often forget is that what we see of others is only the surface. That perfect family you envy may be hiding struggles they never share. That well-traveled neighbor might be running from loneliness. And that friend who looks younger than their age, they could be battling insecurities you'll never know. Comparing your life to others is not only unfair, but also unproductive. Instead, shift the focus inward. The only person you should compare yourself to is the version of you from yesterday. Are you happier, healthier, or more at peace today? These are the measures that matter, not how your life stacks up against someone else's. Gratitude can be a powerful antidote to comparison. When you focus on what you're thankful for, it's much harder to dwell on what you think you're missing. I've learned to catch myself when the urge to compare arises. When I see someone who seems to have it all together, I pause and remind myself that everyone has their own struggles, even if they're invisible. Then I ask myself, what am I grateful for today? The answer always shifts my perspective, reminding me of the unique blessings in my own life. Life isn't a competition, especially after 70. It's a journey, and each of us is walking a different path. What makes your journey special is that it's uniquely yours. There's no need to measure your worth by someone else's experiences or achievements. Celebrate the life you've built, the lessons you've learned, and the relationships you cherish. As you practice gratitude and self-acceptance, you'll find a deeper sense of contentment and peace. This doesn't mean you'll never feel the pull of comparison again, but it does mean you'll have the tools to navigate those moments with grace. Now that we've explored the pitfalls of comparison, let's turn our attention to an equally draining habit: saying yes when you really mean no. Setting boundaries is one of the most empowering skills you can develop, and in the next section, we'll discuss why it's crucial for protecting your time and energy. 9. Saying yes when you mean no. How many times have you found yourself saying yes to something you didn't really want to do, just to avoid disappointing someone else or feeling guilty? If you're like I used to be, the answer is probably too many to count. The habit of agreeing to everything, even at the expense of your own well-being, can be exhausting. But here's the truth: saying no is not selfish, it's necessary. Every time you say yes when your heart isn't in it, you give away a little piece of yourself. Over time, these small sacrifices add up, leaving you drained, resentful, or even burnt out. Learning to say no is one of the greatest acts of self-care you can practice. It's not about rejecting others, it's about protecting your time, energy, and peace of mind. When I first started saying no, it wasn't easy. I worried about how others might react or whether I'd come across as unkind. But to my surprise, most people respected my honesty. In fact, many even appreciated the clarity. The people who truly care about you will want you to prioritize your well-being. And for those who don't, their approval isn't worth the cost of your happiness. Setting boundaries doesn't have to be confrontational. A kind yet firm response like, "I wish I could, but I can't commit to that right now," is often enough. The key is to be clear and consistent. The more you practice, the easier it gets, and over time, you'll feel the weight of unnecessary obligations lift. By saying no to what drains you, you create space for what nourishes you. Imagine spending that newfound time pursuing a hobby you love, catching up with an old friend, or simply sitting in the sun with a cup of tea and a good book. Saying no isn't about closing doors, it's about opening the right ones. As you reflect on where you've been saying yes when you wanted to say no, consider this: what opportunities for rest, joy, or growth are you missing by overcommitting? It's never too late to start setting boundaries, and the rewards of doing so are immeasurable. Now that we've explored the power of saying no, let's look at another common habit that can drain our energy: trying to fix everyone else's problems. In the next section, we'll discuss why letting go of this responsibility is not only freeing, but also deeply necessary for your own well-being. 10. Trying to fix everyone else's problems. For much of my life, I believed it was my duty to solve other people's problems. If a family member was struggling, I would rush in with advice or try to take matters into my own hands. When a friend faced a challenge, I would spend hours worrying about how I could help them. At the time, I thought this was an act of kindness. Looking back, I see that I was carrying burdens that were never mine to bear. Here's the truth: you can't fix everything for everyone. People need to solve their own problems to grow, learn, and become stronger. While your intentions may be good, constantly stepping in to save the day can prevent others from finding their own resilience. It also takes a significant toll on your own energy, leaving little room for you to focus on your own well-being. Instead of taking on others' problems, try to offer support in a healthier way. Be a good listener. Sometimes, people don't need solutions, they just need someone who cares enough to hear them out. Offer encouragement and perspective, but don't feel obligated to shoulder the burden yourself. You can be compassionate without sacrificing your own peace. Letting go of the need to fix everything is liberating. It frees you from the endless cycle of stress and worry about things beyond your control. More importantly, it allows you to redirect your energy toward living your own life with joy and intention. When you stop carrying others' problems, you'll find more time to nurture your passions, strengthen your relationships, and care for your own mental and physical health. This doesn't mean you're abandoning the people you love. On the contrary, by stepping back, you give them the space to grow stronger. At the same time, you honor your own boundaries and recognize that your role isn't to fix everyone, but to support them in their journey. Ask yourself, how often do you find yourself taking on responsibilities that aren't truly yours? What would it feel like to let go and trust that others are capable of finding their way? Remember, being there for someone doesn't mean doing the work for them. With this newfound clarity, let's turn our attention to the one person we often overlook in the process of trying to help everyone else: ourselves. In the next section, we'll explore the importance of prioritizing your own happiness and why it's never too late to start putting yourself first. 11. Neglecting your own happiness. How often have you put everyone else's needs before your own? For many of us, this pattern begins early in life, raising children, supporting partners, and working tirelessly to provide for our families. Somewhere along the way, we convince ourselves that our own happiness can wait. But as time passes, we realize that someday never truly comes unless we make it happen. Happiness isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you choose every single day. After 70, prioritizing your own happiness becomes not just a desire, but a necessity. This stage of life is a golden opportunity to focus on what brings you joy, peace, and fulfillment. Start by carving out time for the things you love. Whether it's gardening, painting, traveling, or simply sitting with a good book, these moments of personal joy are invaluable. Happiness can also come from reconnecting with old friends, learning a new skill, or even embracing quiet reflection. The key is to give yourself permission to prioritize these activities without guilt or hesitation. It's important to remember that taking care of your own happiness doesn't mean neglecting others. In fact, when you're truly happy, you're better equipped to bring joy and positivity to those around you. It's like the advice given on airplanes: you must put on your own oxygen mask before assisting others. Neglecting your happiness often stems from a mindset that prioritizing yourself is selfish. But the truth is, making space for your own joy is one of the most selfless acts you can do. It sets an example for others and shows them that a balanced, fulfilled life is possible. Ask yourself, what have you been putting off because it felt less important than meeting others' expectations? What small steps can you take today to begin reclaiming your happiness? It's never too late to start. Every day is a fresh chance to make choices that honor your well-being. As you embrace this shift in focus, consider how your new outlook can shape the rest of your life. What kind of legacy do you want to leave? Not just for others, but for yourself. These questions lead us to the final section, where we'll explore the broader impact of letting go of the unnecessary and embracing a life centered on meaning, love, and joy. 12. Forgetting to live in the moment. It's easy to let life slip by when we're preoccupied with the past or the future. We spend hours replaying old memories or worrying about what's to come, but rarely do we pause to fully embrace the present. After 70, the importance of living in the moment becomes clearer than ever. Every day, every moment is a gift that deserves your full attention. Living in the moment doesn't mean ignoring your responsibilities or pretending challenges don't exist. Instead, it's about appreciating the here and now, even amidst life's imperfections. It's the warmth of a morning sunbeam on your face, the laughter of a loved one during a conversation, or the quiet comfort of a familiar chair in your home. These moments, simple as they may seem, hold extraordinary beauty when you truly focus on them. Practicing mindfulness can help you stay present. Start small. The next time you sit down to eat, notice the flavors and textures of your meal instead of rushing through it. When you're with a friend, listen fully instead of letting your mind wander. By grounding yourself in these small, intentional actions, you'll begin to see life through a new lens, one that prioritizes joy and gratitude. It's also important to let go of distractions that pull you away from the moment. Technology, for instance, can be a double-edged sword. While it helps us stay connected, it can also draw us into endless scrolling or checking notifications. Set boundaries for your screen time and instead use that energy to engage with the people and experiences around you. Living in the moment isn't just about finding joy, it's also about creating deeper connections with those you care about. When you're fully present, you offer something invaluable: your time and attention. These are the things that build lasting relationships and create memories that you and your loved ones will cherish. As we conclude this journey through the 12 things you should let go of after 70, take a moment to reflect on how far you've come. From worrying about others' opinions to neglecting your own happiness, each step has been a part of reclaiming your life. Now, with a renewed focus on the present, you have the tools to embrace a life filled with purpose, joy, and love. Conclusion: embracing a life of intentional joy. As we reflect on these 12 things to let go of after 70, it becomes clear that this isn't about giving something up, it's about gaining a renewed sense of freedom, purpose, and joy. Life after 70 is a chapter that many often overlook, yet it holds unparalleled opportunities for growth, discovery, and fulfillment. By releasing the burdens that no longer serve you, you open yourself to a more intentional and meaningful existence. The themes we've explored: worrying less about others' opinions, forgiving past grievances, decluttering your mind and home, and saying no when necessary, all point to one vital truth: your time and energy are your most valuable assets. These are finite resources, and how you choose to spend them will shape the quality of your golden years. Imagine what life could look like if you prioritized your happiness, focused on the present, and allowed yourself to fully embrace every moment. Picture yourself surrounded by meaningful relationships, engaging in hobbies that bring you joy, and living each day without the weight of unnecessary obligations or regrets. This is not just an ideal, it's a reality you can create, starting right now. To begin this transformation, take small but purposeful steps. Start by identifying just one thing from this list that resonates with you. Is it letting go of resentment, decluttering your space, or perhaps setting a boundary with someone in your life? Whatever it may be, commit to taking action today. Small changes lead to big results, and before you know it, you'll find yourself living with greater clarity and intention. As you move forward, remember that life is a journey, not a destination. There will still be challenges, but with the wisdom and experience you've gained, you are well equipped to navigate them. Each moment is an opportunity to create something beautiful, whether it's through connection, kindness, or simply appreciating the world around you. Now is the time to live for yourself, not in a selfish way, but in a way that honors the unique path you've walked and the one still ahead of you. This is your life, your story, and your chance to embrace it fully. Let go of the unnecessary and make room for the extraordinary. As you close this chapter and look ahead to the next, ask yourself, what does a truly fulfilling life look like for me? The answers may surprise you, but they will undoubtedly lead you to a life rich in purpose, love, and joy. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit from this topic. Have any thoughts or personal experiences to share? Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to join our community for more empowering content. Thank you for watching, and until next time, embrace the journey with confidence.